What's up guys, how's it crack-a-lackin'? Welcome to the very first episode of a new series on my channel that I'm calling Sho Challenges, where I challenge myself to do weird and wacky things within games, just for your entertainment. Today I decided to challenge myself to combine two of my greatest loves, Harry Potter and The Sims. With the amount of challenges floating around to do with The Sims, I'm unsure if this is already a thing, but I wanted to challenge myself by making the Harry Potter characters, houses and school, but also limiting myself to only base game items. I won't sit here and say that I'm the best at building or character creating, but I tried this first time on stream almost 3 years ago now and successfully built the Burrow. However, this was in a heavily modded version of the game. My aim is to make the Weasley family, the Burrow, the Malfoy family, and of course Malfoy Manor, the Potters with Godric's Hollow, the Grangers and their family home, Hagrid and his hut, and of course Hogwarts, complete with Dumbledore, McGonagall, Snape, Sprout and Flitwick, because we need the heads of houses after all. So I decided to start with everyone's favourite family, the Weasleys, and almost immediately ran into my first challenge. The Sims only allows a maximum of 8 members per household, meaning I couldn't make the entire of the Weasley family. So eliminating Bill and Charlie left me with the right number. I thought by starting with the largest family, it would give me an indication into ages for the characters, and I didn't want to make Molly and Arthur into elders. Starting with the matriarch herself, Molly Weasley, I knew I had to give her the family-related aspiration, and when it came to traits, I gave her family-orientated, good, and then after much deliberation, creative. To me, Molly comes across as a creative woman. I mean, she'd have to be to keep up with her children's antics, right? It then came to the actual creating her character part. I thought about how I wanted to create the characters, and I decided to go from the film versions rather than the book versions, because some characters come across very differently in each. So, using multiple reference pictures and struggling which hairstyle would go best for Molly, I set off making everyone's fictional mother. I had to age her quite a bit in the face as the sim looked pretty young, no matter what I tried to do. Then put minimal makeup on her, and ideally wanted a hairstyle like this one but with a fringe. Unfortunately, base game items don't offer this. I made my sim a little chunkier and started with more reference pictures to figure out outfits. Without using the Cottagecore expansion pack, finding the perfect everyday outfit for Molly was a task, but the comfy oversized jumper with a skirt, which was a little shorter than I would have liked, seemed like the right fit. And we can't forget the very important wedding ring for her dear Arthur. For formal wear, I wanted to try and take inspiration from the green dress she wore at Bill of Flair's wedding. But once again, the base game didn't have anything that seemed to even come close, apart from this green dress which I stumbled upon. The neckline seemed a little bare, so adding a matching necklace seemed to fix that right up. Athletic, sleep and swimwear were categories I had to take the most creative liberties on. Within the film, I don't think we see any outfits from any of these categories, so for Molly, I tried to make them look as comfy and oversized as Sims would allow. Let me know if you would do anything different here. After all, Sims still need to function with actual gameplay. Party wear, I decided to take inspiration from this outfit and tried to recreate it as much as I possibly could. Obviously not being perfect, I ended up liking how this turned out overall. For hot weather, I tried to maintain the colour palette of very earthy tones that I'd seen from multiple reference pictures, and wondered what Molly would wear doing something like gardening. Someone has to keep up with the Burrow while Arthur's working out the function of rubber ducks. For cold weather, I tried to find the beret sort of hat like in this picture, however I couldn't find anything remotely close. But I knew I had to include a cheesy Christmas jumper. Although it didn't have a big M on it, you could see where I was going with this at least. And then Molly was finished. After Molly, I worked on Arthur. I put his aspiration as knowledge, and I gave him family orientated, loves outdoors and cheerful. Looking at the reference pictures for Arthur, he seems like a very classy dressed character, mainly wearing suits and shirts. So knowing this, I tried to recreate the look from the Goblet of Fire, and I am so happy with how this turned out. With formal wear, I again wanted to try and recreate the outfit from Bill and Flair's wedding, again being limited by Sims base game items. Athletic, swim and sleepwear were again I had to take the most liberty, but once I got to party wear, I decided to recreate this image. I felt like stepping away from the suits and shirts when there's a party would be very Arthur. So going for this smart-ish looking jumper seemed quite right. I ideally wanted to recreate the outfit for the Egypt trip for the hot weather option, but realised quickly that I couldn't see any of it, so I opted for, once again, a shirt and some smart looking brown coloured pants. For cold weather, I took inspiration from 2 different outfits. The first one being this one. I didn't want to use the same clothes I had already used in other categories. I wanted to pay homage to that strange hat that he wears to Flourish and Blot in Chamber of Secrets. Not perfect, but it'll do. I had to play with genetics to see if I could get the sim that looked anything similar to my next character, and by far my least favourite, Percy Weasley. He is just so different from the rest of his family, and I had to make that so. Putting his aspiration into knowledge and giving him perfectionist, ambitious and snob as traits also seemed fitting. I never liked Percy Weasley from the start. He just gave me vibes that he was too good for everyone else, and I didn't like that. I did enjoy making his snide little face. Sorry to the actor who plays him. Still being a Weasley, the vibes of jumpers and comfy clothes still go strong, and I tried to recreate his Ministry of Magic suit we see him in once he's left Hogwarts. Other than his school uniform and this suit, we don't see Percy Weasley in too many more outfits. He also didn't attend Bill and Fleur's wedding, so the reference pictures I had here were quite limited. I also like to believe that Molly and Arthur combined both of their styles for Percy and went for a smart/comfy vibe, so that's what I went with. Again, using some quite earthy colours. Next, it's everyone's favourite duo, the twins. I was so excited to make these two, as even though they look the same, their outfits have certain elements of difference to them, proving the challenge. I like that Sims have added their twin section with genetics, but I had trouble finding ones that actually looked similar. These were also the only Sims I chose to make teenagers within this family. First I gave Fred the fortune aspiration, along with cheerful and goofball as traits to tie in with their widely successful shop, and followed up with the same for George. These two are like 2 peas in a pod, and it didn't seem right to have their traits and aspirations that were different. Part of me wanted to give them the long hairstyle from Prisoner of Azkaban, but I settled on this shorter, almost messy looking style instead. For every day, I tried to recreate the first ever outfit that we saw Fred and George wear on the train platform. Formal wear, I decided to recreate their brownie orange shop suits, but messed around with the colours of them to get them a little closer to the actual thing. Fred being more of an orange suit, while George gets more of a red option. I used this inspiration again for athletic wear. After all, they are going to a Quidditch match. The yellow shirts from Prisoner of Azkaban inspired this look, and although I couldn't find a bobble hat like what they wear in Prisoner of Azkaban, I did give them a big woolly looking jumper. Let's just pretend that there's an F and a G on it, shall we? Similar to Percy, Fred and George's style was hard to really grasp due to the limited amount of base game items. However, I was quite happy with the end result of both twins. Heading down the family tree, I finally got to Ron, and limiting myself even further by making him a child, I got to work. I wanted there to be a significant age gap between the twins, Ron and Ginny. So Ron being a child and Ginny being a toddler just made sense to me. I was initially torn between motor and mental for his aspiration. Mental to pay homage to his knowledge of chess, and motor for just his all-round silliness. I ended up going for motor in the end, and then struggled with the trait. Part of me wanted to choose glutton, and part of me wanted to choose good. But I ended up going for loving outdoors instead. Hopefully, as the Sims grow up, I can pick up other traits for them. I quickly realised just how limited I was with clothing options when it came to children, so I had to be a little creative. Taking inspiration from the least child-looking picture of Ron ever, I tried to recreate this layered fashion statement he's going for here. And then my dreams were crushed when there was no option to even try and recreate his Yule Ball suit. So, opting for the best way I could recreate this outfit, you guessed it, back to Bill and Fleur's wedding. I chose this tank top look for an athletic outfit, and once again pretending there's a big R on his jumper for his sleepwear. Trying to recreate his green button-up jacket from that first train ride for party wear led me onto this stripy number for hot weather. And we also cannot forget the hat from the Prisoner of Azkaban. For a child, creating Ron left me with a lot of limitations, but once again, I'm quite happy with how he turned out. The last member of the family was little Ginny. And as previously said, I wanted there to be an age gap between her and Ron, so making her a toddler was the only solution left, and once again limiting me even more than I already was. Not being able to choose an aspiration for her left me with no other choice than the independent trait. Her everyday outfit consisted of classic Gryffindor red jumper, and her formal outfit was the Sims toddler take on the wedding outfit that she wore. I wondered if I should have used the more vibrant Yule Ball dress here that she sported, but I decided against it. Once again, taking into account Sims and infant needs, creative liberties were taken with sleep and swimwear. But once I got to party wear, I did actually pay homage to the green and pink dress she wore to the Yule Ball. Personally, I hate this look, and I couldn't get any pink or the right shade of green in any of the toddler options. So I class this party wear as a fail. For hot weather, I opted for the classic running away from evil a la Ginny. And again, going back to Prisoner of Azkaban for her cold weather outfit, even though I thought the pink one looked super cute. Now I had the first family in this challenge complete. Molly, Arthur, Percy, Fred, George, Ron and Ginny. Selecting the best family photo, I moved them into the most empty world I had, Newcrest, and I moved them into their empty lot, ready to build the burrow. Let me know if you would have done anything differently in this challenge. But until next time, thanks for watching, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!
Legends will rise, our spirits won't fade. With hearts ablaze, we'll conquer the shade. Elden Ring's your way, play tale. Shining like stars, we'll never fail. Through the shadows, we'll find our way. With Drum and Show leading us astray, astray.